Good evening, everyone. My name is Adeshola Oloro. So tonight I want to be sharing my little experience about this viral video of a teacher that beats a 3-year-old and she's been arrested and being reminded at the Kirikiri Correctional Service. So I want to say this. I think a lot of private schools in Nigeria needs to be restructured. I would say Nigeria education system in general needs restructuring. And in my coming episode, I'll be sharing my experiences and why I think Nigeria education system need restructuring. But today I want to talk about this particular teacher, about the issue that concerns this teacher and my experience. So my son, my first child, started school at 2 years old, and I registered him in the best school in my area. It's a very known school in my area. I don't want to mention the name just so that I don't breach their privacy. My son started school at 2, and when he was enrolled, the first class the teacher said, based on his assessments, is using left hand. So my boy in the first session in school was using left hand, and there was no problem until he got promoted at the end of the session into another class. And upon resumption, the next teacher says, "Oh, this boy is not a left hand boy. Is a right hand. It's just that he's confused. He cannot determine which hand is going to be using. So now they are going to put him back on using the right hand." Okay, it's my first experience. I've never had any other child aside him, and I'm still a novice when it comes to all these kind of things. I accepted, and then they started to train him in using the right hand. It became quite difficult for him, but along the line, he can use both hands. He can use left hand and he can use right hand. At the end of the session, going further into the next class, the next teacher says, "Okay, this boy is not a right hand boy, he's a left hand boy." Then they are going to put him back onto the left hand boy. And that is where the problem started. My boy was very confused. He does not really understand anything, and everything become like a war for him. One of the teachers who have trained him, I think the one he was in a class. So I'm like, can you do extra lesson for this boy, so that when he's from the school at 3, then he will go to your house. He will do lesson until 5 or thereabout. Then when I'm going home, I will come and pick him up, and I will be paying him. We agreed on the amount she's going to be taking at the end of the month, and she started taking him. But since she started taking this boy, my boy developed fear. He didn't want to go to school again. Each time he is getting dressed up for school, he's always scared and crying. "I don't want to go to school." Imagine a 4-year-old boy crying, like, "I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. Mommy, please." How on earth won't you want to go to school? You have to go to school. There are days I came back from work to pick my boy up from school, and his head were swollen, like they were cuts on the head. There were visible scars, marks, and the head was swollen in different parts. This boy was beaten thoroughly. Like, the woman said, "Oh, he's just lazy. He knows all these things, but he's lazy. He doesn't want to do anything. So he's going to beat him because the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child." That was what she said to me. And I admitted to it. Imagine. I said, "Okay, no problem, since there's going to be an improvement." But no, it doesn't get better, it got worse. And before I could realize, whenever we are driving past the school junction, my boy would turn his face. Like, he doesn't want to see that school at all. To make the matter worse, at the end of the session, I was advised that the boy needs to repeat the class because he's not meeting up to the expectations of the school. It does not meet up with the requirements for promotion. So I went to the school and asked them, this child started nursery in your school. It's not that I brought him from other schools. This boy started nursery in your school. He's been in the school for 3 sessions, changing his hand from right to left, from left to right. And at the end of the day, you are telling me it's not meeting up. When I'm not owing school fees, I've done all my best. I've done all my part. With all the beatings and the marks, you are still saying he has to repeat the class. So what's the point? And my boy was like, he's no longer going to that school. Mommy, please. He was begging me. I don't ever want to go to that school. So I changed my mind and I stopped it. I stopped him from going to that school. But believe me, that boy is 10 years old now. The fear instilled in my boy is still there. Like, we are in the United Kingdom, and several times I've met with his teachers, and they kept asking, what happened to this child? So he's had a childhood trauma from beating in school, and he still got that fear. Like, he's not sure of himself. He's always scared to talk out, to speak when it comes to anything educational, because he's scared. You can understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to say, I've got my second child. If you ask my son, do you want to go to Nigeria? My son is going to tell you, no. If my son has done anything bad, if you want to scare him, just tell him, Israel, you are going back to Nigeria. My son will start doing the right thing. Like, he never wants to go to Nigeria. And when you try to ask him, why don't you want to go to Nigeria? The only thing my son is going to tell you is, because they beat. Here, come and see Pampa. Nigeria, we need to do better. Like, the way we beat our kids is too much. It's too much. It scares them away from school. Education should be fun. School should be fun. Not an horrible experience causing childhood trauma for kids. We can do better. There are other ways you can teach. Like, you need to see how teaching is done here. You will be impressed. Like, I'm like, how are these people trying? How are they doing it? They get it done easily without beating, without saying horrible things to their puppies. Like, they are being nice. The kids love to go to school because they know their teachers are friendly. They want to be with them. So I'm just going to say this beating has been going on for a long time. It's not the first time. I've also had my share, even though I was actually looking for the best for my son, but instead I couldn't get the best. It only got worse. So beating cannot solve our problems. We just have to learn. We have to relearn. We have to undo some things and bring some things into the system. We can do better. Nigerian schools, we can do better. We can do better. So this is my experience, and I hope the woman doesn't get away with it. Yes. Bye everyone. Thank you for watching.